All right, everyone, welcome back to another Java video. In this video, we're going to be solving the 2004 J3 question from the Canadian Computing Contest called Smile with Similes. A simile is a combination of an adjective and a noun that produces a phrase such as easy as pie or cold as ice. We're going to write a program to input n adjectives varying from 1 to 5 and m nouns from 1 to 5, and we're going to print out all possible similes. The first two lines of input will provide the values of n and m, and in that order follow, one per line will have n adjectives and m nouns. Your program may output similes in any order, and this is our solution code. So starting off, we're going to handle our inputs. Okay, when you do submit it to CCC, you probably don't want the system out print list because they do output matching to test your code. But regardless, for our sake, we're going to have these here just to really have our input sections all nicely organized. First and foremost, we're going to need to have our number of adjectives and nouns entered. So we're going to have num1 and num2 representing the number of adjectives for num1 and num2 representing the number of nouns. And what I did was just take an se.next line to grab it as a string and then parse that as an integer for both of these num1 and num2 variables. Then after that, since I know how many adjectives and nouns that I will get, I have created arrays, string-based arrays. So we said we have string, we have square brackets here, our variable name, and I've just created the first one to have this many slots for our adjectives, and for our nouns, we're going to have this many slots for our nouns, all both acting as a string array. All right, then since we know how many we're supposed to get, we're going to loop that many times based on our for loop designed with a counter so that we can say that for our adjectives, we're going to place them in our adjectives array list, adjective string array at this index value of I with the user input. So as I increases, we're accessing indexes of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And for each of those indices, we're going to be giving a se.next line so that we're getting all of our adjective inputs. And we're going to do the same thing for our nouns. I just wanted to show you a different way to do this by using a while loop, which really behaves the same way, but you can also utilize the length property of arrays so that you don't have to now use this number for our condition. You could have also used this number for our condition here as well. So once you have the adjectives and nouns all put into a string array of adjectives and noun, is very simple. What we're going to do is use a for each loop. We're going to say for the string adjective representing the individual items in our string array called adjectives. For each of those, I'm going to run a for loop. All right, well, and another for each loop where we have a temporary string variable called noun comes from our list or our string array of nouns, and then we're just going to output this adjective plus the string of space as space, and we're going to put the noun afterwards. So in this question, if we were to try out okay, we're going to have 3 and 2. We're going to enter the adjectives of. So we're going to have our 3 adjectives here as easy, soft, and smart. And our second, our nouns are going to be pie and rock. And as you notice, for our first word, which is our first adjective, for that adjective, we're going to finish this for loop by saying we have easy as pie, easy as rock, and then it goes to our second adjective. So our adjective is now as soft, and our noun is going to update to pie, then rock, and then lastly, when adjective is smart, our noun once again will reset and represent pie and rock again for each of our smart value, and that's how we get our easy simile output. Okay, so one of the hardest thing about this question was handling our input and setting all that up. It actually took us more code to set up our input and setting up our array rather than having our similes created. But whenever you see this pair of two items being paired off each other, it is a really good idea to try a loop within a loop solution, because most often or not, that is the pattern that we can use to solve problems where we do have to create series of pairs. Okay, so that was our solution to the 2004 Junior 3 CCC question. As always, thank you for watching and stay classy.